Now, a plan to ban the hijab in all sports is dividing the French government.
Sikh players from the Indian basketball team were asked to remove their turbans. The match officials informed the players that they were violating International Basketball Federation rules.
Article 9.3 came into effect in December 2022 and forbids the wearing of any clothes or equipment symbolizing a particular religion or political affiliation.
When I saw this, I felt that why specifically this happens with hijab. It was very upsetting.
And they asked us to not to play in the game and to remove the turban if you have to play in the game.
Qui porte une tenue religieuse extrêmement marquée, je ne vais pas avoir envie d'aller vers lui. Et nous, en France, on trouve ça intolérable.
Head coverings have a long historic background in religion. It's the representation of faith, equality, and identity. But regardless of its background, there's been numerous occasions of discrimination against the head covering, even in sports. Discrimination is the unfair treatment of people based on characteristics such as race, gender, age, or disability. Head coverings is something that triggers a lot of discrimination and unfair comments outside and inside the sporting world. I spoke to scholar Mohammed Asad Ali about discrimination and policies, and former athletes Harry Singh and Amika Pal about the discrimination they faced in sports, how they felt and the impact it had on their social and emotional well-being.
Being a Muslim is an important part of my whole life. It's the way I live my life, whether it be morals, whether it be rules, and it's just basically a guidance to what I do. The hijab is important to me because it just shows my identity as a Muslim, and it shows that we can do whatever, no matter what it is, whether it be sports, science, anything like that.
Being a Sikh means being empowered to help people and being that light and being that representation of being able to be that person to rely on. I'm very proud that I can be someone that can be relied on, and the presentation of Sikhs in society, I'm very proud that I'm a part of that. I'd say I've played an abundance of sports growing up, especially in school. My parents would take me to after school clubs such as karate and other mixed sports after school clubs. So I used to play for grassroots football for a few years. I'd probably say my main sports would be badminton and football.
It used to consist of football every single week, so I had at least one or two games in a week, trained 2 to 3 times in a week.
Sports is a universal. It is meant to accommodate for everyone. Imam Mohammed Asad Ali has heard many testimonies from multiple Muslim women regarding discrimination they've faced wearing the hijab while in the sporting sector.
Not always in an overt or in aggressive forms, but in ways that are perhaps more telling. Hesitation, uncertainty, a lack of accommodation dressed up as neutrality. But what I find more concerning really is that it's not just the experiences themselves, but the anticipation of them. Many young Muslim women withdraw before even attempting to participate because they already perceive the environment as unwelcoming. And when people begin to exclude themselves out of expectation, that indicates a deeper structural issue, not merely isolated incidents.
When did you start to feel there was a religious or a cultural discrimination against you for wearing a head covering? Was it said or was it insinuated?
I've not always worn the hijab, but when I did start wearing it, there was like comments, there was things put in place, or they had gatherings where they know I wouldn't be able to go to and they wouldn't consider me. I had ignorant comments, ignorant questions, things that I've already answered, and things to even do with my name, like not pronouncing it right, me making it easier for them, and they still can't pronounce my name right.
Just like slurs and stuff that I'd never even heard before, to be honest. So obviously hearing them, I was confused. I was like, what? And yeah, I think I didn't understand it first, and then when it settled, I was like, oh, that's what that means, or that's what they were insinuating. And yeah, it was very tough. It didn't feel great. It felt like I was being belittled. It felt like it was annoying because obviously that's not like me losing or anything, but it felt like I just lost something, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't win it. I'd probably say I lost a bit of love for the game, or any game as a matter of fact, because there was always that fear at the back of my head, which is still there now, where what are people going to think?
it kind of didn't get to me. It's just it just makes you feel uncomfortable because you always know that someone's always thinking a certain way about you. But as it kept going on again and again and again, it's kind of just tedious and you kind of feel tired. You kind of feel let down because you're just coming here to play the sport and have fun, but you have people or things around you that are basically acting as barriers, so it's getting in the way of what you want to do.
Did anyone ever intervene or understand?
Not really. Everyone, especially in the football background, everyone was kind of either narrow-minded or they didn't know anything. So they either didn't know what to say or they wouldn't say anything at all. Or when people did say things to me, they didn't know that it was coming across in that way. And if people did know, they obviously didn't care.
Did it change how you seen the sports space for you?
It definitely did, yeah. Like I said previously, you just don't feel comfortable. You feel like everyone's targeting you, everyone's against you, whether it's like full on or just little things. You always feel like you're on edge. You can never be comfortable at all.
I mean, Islam does not construct such a dichotomy. The prophetic tradition affirms physical strength, discipline, and activity. So there's no inherent contradiction between modesty and athleticism, to be honest. However, when environments are not designed with religious plurality in mind, individuals are made to feel as though they must negotiate between the two. The tension, therefore, is not necessarily intrinsic, but it's imposed.
To many people who participate, policies can feel like a tick box. That's why it's important to have a greater understanding as to why, to be more careful and inclusive.
If fairness is merely just formal equality, then treat everyone identically, then such policies may appear defensible. However, if fairness entails equitable outcomes, then the analysis will probably change. So when a policy consistently places a disproportionate burden on a specific group, then it ceases to be neutral in any meaningful sense.
Do you think there were policies made with Muslim women in mind when they were making these policies? Do you ever have a policy that anyone should wear a head covering as long as they're safe? But do you think that's just a very broad term, like it just kind of ticks a box? Do you think there's a general idea that there's inclusion in sport, or is it sometimes just kind of overlooked?
I think it's overlooked. I think it's definitely just a tick box. Things that are already put out there are just put out there to say that they've done things, but I don't think they prioritize it at all. And especially now, in this day and age where everything is ethnically diverse. We have so many different religions, so many different races playing together. There's more women playing sports as well. I think it should definitely be emphasized, and I think they could do a lot more.
Yeah, regrettably, I'd say it's a tick box thing. There is a discernible difference between performative inclusion and substantial inclusion. Communities are perceptive, that's the honest truth. They can distinguish between being acknowledged and being understood.
Do you think the governing bodies take religious and cultural practices seriously enough in sports?
Definitely not. I think they do put things in place, like I said, just for tick boxing. They don't actually understand why. They don't want to give the chance to understand why, I guess. I think they take it seriously when it looks bad on them. But if it does not influence them, I don't think they take it seriously at all.
Do you think there's underlying attitudes towards the hijab in sports where people think they can't do this because they're wearing a hijab?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I do think, but they just make that assumption themselves.
No one should ever feel deterred from sports because of their identity. I asked, what advice would you give a religious young person who struggled with their faith and sports?
I think racism in sports is quite frowned upon and it's very quickly dealt with. But general headwear, I feel like there is a bit of a stigma around it, and I think it's something where over time, with more diversity and people embracing more, then I think that will change. I think you have to keep going and not give up. If you let them win, it will devalue you. But if anything, you should use it as fuel, which I think I never did before.
Judgment is, to some extent, unavoidable. Everything's going to be judged. So the question then is not whether one will be judged, but on what terms does one choose to be judged? And if one is to be scrutinized, then let it be for standing with conviction and with what you actually believe rather than compromising it. Because over time, confidence anchored in identity tends to command respect, even from those who initially misunderstood it.
Your intention is the best thing, basically. If you intend to go into that sport to better yourself, to better your ability, to better your skills, and for the love of the sport, then you're absolutely fine. What anyone says to you, or when anything happens, it is not your fault. You're not doing anything wrong, and there should be no harm in you wanting to do what you want to do.
The question is now, what more can be done practically? It's clear that policies should be more precise and involve everyone. But we still have much more to do to root out discrimination and point it out when we see it, and to report it as soon as it happens.